Now, White Pine County Daily News with Wyatt Cox.
And KELY News is always brought to you by Sahara Motors, home of the Touch-A-Truck promotion. Keep listening. Find out how you can win. Touch-A-Truck. It's coming up July 4th weekend. You can win a Dodge Ram Tough truck. Stop by Sahara Motors for details. Reno City Councilman Devon Reese says he'll return $2,000 in campaign contributions from Stephen Kromer, who's facing 31 counts of theft related to a failed fiber optic project. Reese told KRNB's Joe Hart he doesn't know Kromer beyond recent news reports. Those funds donated back to a state or a nonprofit organization. Kromer's attorney says he plans a vigorous defense, declined to answer questions about the case yesterday. Kromer's case set for June 10th. A bill to keep Nevada on permanent standard time hit a dead end this legislative session. Assembly Bill 81, introduced by Democrat Assemblywoman Selena LaRue Hatch, failed to advance after missing a key committee deadline. The bill passed the Assembly 27-15 in April, but it never got a Senate hearing. It aimed to exempt Nevada from daylight saving time starting in 2026, putting the state an hour behind other Pacific time zone states during daylight saving time months. Supporters cited public health concerns and increased traffic risks linked to the time change. A similar Senate vote also stalled. LaRue Hatch says she remains committed to the issue. Now, Nevada lawmakers advancing a bill that would ban individuals convicted of misdemeanor hate crimes from owning or purchasing firearms for up to 10 years. Senate Bill 89, sponsored by Democrat Senator Julie Pacina, passed the Senate Monday, a 12-8 vote along party lines. Senate Pacina emphasized the bill aimed to protect Nevadans by preventing those convicted of hate crimes from accessing firearms, ensuring safety regardless of race, religion, or identity. The bill now moves to the Assembly for consideration. Governor Lombardo vetoed a similar bill last session. In other legislative news, Democrats have introduced a sweeping education reform bill aimed at increasing oversight of charter schools and improving accountability within the Clark County Schools District. The proposed legislation is supposed to enhance transparency in charter school operations and implement stricter performance evaluations. Additionally, it addresses concerns about resource allocation and aims to ensure equitable funding across all public schools. Supporters argue these measures necessary to elevate educational standards and provide better outcomes for students statewide. Critics contend the bill may impose excessive regulations on charter schools, potentially stifling innovation and flexibility. And based on enrollment, charter schools are the second largest school system in Nevada, behind only the Clark County School District. Michelle Fiori suspended with pay as Pahrump's Justice of the Peace. That follows a ruling by the Nevada Judicial Discipline Committee yesterday. Fiori, the former Las Vegas councilwoman, convicted in October of last year of wire fraud and conspiracy after misusing donations meant for a fallen officer's memorial. That included spending some on her daughter's wedding. Though she was pardoned by President Trump in April, the commission says her conduct still raises ethical concerns and merits disciplinary review. Some hunters and anglers voicing concerns regarding the possible sale of hundreds of thousands of acres in Nevada and Utah. Here's reporter Alec Gonzalez.
GOP Representatives Mark Amodei and Celeste Malloy recently introduced a last-minute provision to the massive budget reconciliation package being considered in Washington, which would allow public lands in both states to be sold to local governments or private entities. Backers say it could help address the housing shortage and grow industry presence. But Devon O.D., with backcountry hunters and anglers, says the decision sets a negative precedent.
This process, this way, in budget reconciliation is not the way to go about this, particularly because it circumvents established laws that dictate when public lands are sold, that money goes back into conservation and access through the Federal Land Transfer Facilitation Act.
O.D. says the current method will bypass that legislation and direct money straight into the general fund, which he says is concerning. I'm Alex Gonzalez reporting.
And in other news, 2 gas stations have dropped their prices this week. It seems that Love's at the top of the hill dropped the price of regular unleaded to $3.08 yesterday to match the prices out here of the Golden Gate and the East Altman Shell on the east side of town. The neighboring Shell up on Great Basin dropped their price to $3.09, and that drops AAA's average price in the county to $3.13, down 3 cents of yesterday, and still the cheapest in the state and below the national average. That makes the likelihood of a holiday road trip much more affordable, at least here in White Pine County. Momentum building for the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act, a bipartisan bill requiring all new U.S. vehicles to include AM radio at no extra cost. In May alone, 19 more House members signed on, bringing the total to 175 total sponsors. The Senate version already has a filibuster-proof majority, signaling strong support. Advocates, including FEMA and the National Association of Broadcasters, emphasize AM radio's critical role in emergency communication, while some EV makers cite interference issues. Lawmakers argue solutions exist. With Congress returning after Memorial Day, a summer vote is anticipated. For more information on the act, go online to savekely.com. That's savekely.com. At 8:18 for Sahara Motors, that's your morning news from the state of Nevada.
You see lots of commercials on television telling you to drive a little and save a lot. Dealers wanting you to drive to Salt Lake, Elko, Reno, and even Las Vegas. But ask them one question. What happens if there's a problem? Do you have to drive 3, 4, or even 6 hours to get service? Here at Sahara Motors in Ely, we service everything we sell right here in White Pine County. Shop here first, get our best deal, and you get that best deal by telling Maggie or Shauna that Wyatt sent you by. Then if you want, shop other places. When you account for the drive, you'll find that it pays you to be a part of the Sahara Motors family. Stop by Sahara Motors, just about a mile north of Ely on US 93.
Or call 775-289-4473.
Sahara Motors, we are White Pine proud.